Welcome to the High Vibe Soul Podcast, a space where we discuss personal growth, spirituality, motherhood, relationships, and shifting old paradigms so that you can live your most authentic, soul-aligned life. I'm your host, Lyndsey, and I founded the High Vibe Soul Company to empower women and support them in becoming their highest, brightest selves. From my light to yours, I am so grateful you're here. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Yesterday, I created my first ever Everyday Energy Care for Moms and Kids course. It's 1 hour long, and I am so excited about it. So I wanted to share a little bit of the information on a podcast so you could kind of get a taste of what's in it. Some of this stuff is vitally important for us to understand and facilitate as mothers, empath mothers with highly sensitive empathic kids. I'm going to give you a little overview of the energy care routines that I do for myself and my children. If you don't know, part of what I do is I'm an energy healer. And I became an energy healer not thinking that I would ever do sessions for anyone else. I did it for myself because I am a super empath. I would definitely identify as highly sensitive. I'm very intuitive. And I never learned any of this as a child, as a 20 something. I didn't learn any of this till my mid 30s. And now I'm infinitely grateful that I have these tools. But I often wonder, what would my life have looked like had I had this information and these practices from childhood? I mean, my life would be completely different. So I learned this from my own knowledge, and then eventually I fell in love with energy healing, and I became a healer myself, which was always very much meant to be. Kind of a little funny story for you that I just told a friend the other day. When I was, let's see, what year was it? I think it was 2018, and my oldest was a baby, and I was going through this whole rebirth of my identity. Like, who am I now? I had quit my corporate job the year before, and just like, what do I want to do? What do I want my life to look like? I originally thought, like, oh, I'll be a stay-at-home mom for a while. And then I realized, you know what? I actually don't think this is going to fully fulfill me. Like, I need something else in my life. What is that next thing? And I went to this woman who I had done a session with before. She's a psychic medium locally here in Atlanta. And I left that session so mad because she told me one of the things I was meant to do was energy healing. And I looked at her and I was like, I would never do that. And that I wanted her to tell me to become a therapist or a counselor. That's what I was really thinking I was going to do next. And she did not tell me that. And it's just hilarious how things go. Of course, now I am mentoring and coaching mothers and doing energy healing sessions, and it's all completely perfect. But just like a funny little thing to think about now. What is it, 7 years later? So, yeah, I am a super empath. I'm sure you are too if you're here. Probably highly empathic kids. And all of my clients also are highly sensitive and empathic. But I would say about 80% of the ones that come to me, I have to walk them through energy healing, energy care, energy protection, just daily routines that they can do between our energy healing sessions. Because you really shouldn't need to come to me more than every 3 months, like once a quarter should be good for a good deep energy clean. You should be doing these every single day, and you don't have to be a healer to do these. They're very simple practices. And when I tell people that, they're like, it's like a light bulb goes off. They're like, oh, I had no idea. Or, oh, I didn't know this type of practice. I didn't know it was so simple. And I didn't know I could do this with my kids. Like I never thought to do with my kids. So I was like, okay, I need to create a workshop on this. The link will be in the show notes. Highly recommend checking it out. I also include 7 energy protection cleansing meditations as well that I think you'll really like. I think back to childhood again and how I was such a chameleon. Why did I just morph into whoever I was with? And now it's so clear. I had no boundaries. I was a total people pleaser. I was a deep, deep feeler. I still am. And I felt everyone's stuff and I just took it on for better or for worse. So I would take up on other people's emotions as if they were my own. I would take on other people's thoughts as if they were my own. And you may have a child like this where they have really big feelings and big emotions, and you might see these outbursts after school, especially. I think it's twofold with this. I think it's because they are supposed to be so well behaved at school and it can be really hard to sit still and all the things. And so they just have to let out that pent up energy. But I also think for my kids in particular, they're just around so many different energies that they take some of that on and they just have to expel it somehow. And I think about that with myself. Like I used to have these huge, like crying, yelling spells when I was a kid. And it's like, yeah, of course, because I was taking on everyone else's stuff, especially some of the people around me that were holding things in, and I would take it on as my own and release that emotion. So just something to keep in mind for your kids. And now more than ever, even if you're like, oh, I'm not that empathic, it is so important that we all understand how to clear and protect our energy and how to reset our energy and reset our nervous system because we are taking in so much energy. I mean, you think about if you're like scrolling on social media for 5 minutes, how many other energies are you taking on just in that 5 minute scroll? Or even if you work from home, like you're probably on Zoom calls, just your kids are at school, they're taking on all kinds of energy. It is so important that we understand how to clear and reset. So I want to explain this concept before I get into how we set up our morning for a really high vibe day. This concept of energetic nutrition. And I want you to think about, what are you feeding your energy every single day? Just like you feed your body. What are your kids consuming in terms of the people they're with, the content they're consuming, the music you're listening to? Like music can be very, what's the word I'm looking for? The word that's coming to mind is like hypnotic. Like think about what they're listening to, and there's certain songs that serve a certain purpose. Like sometimes you want to listen to a sad song because you just need to like feel that for a minute. But just think about what they're listening to. Is everything high vibe? Like what kind of content are they consuming? Is it high vibe? I think back to my mom always telling this story when I was maybe 4 years old. There was some show with like little animals and this little rabbit called Patty Rabbit, and apparently she was super sassy. And after I watched that show enough times, I started being real sassy and taking on that energy. So just think about this with your kids. It's really important to understand too that as empaths, we and our children, we're extra sensitive and susceptible to what I would call programming from content. Every single energy that you're consuming will have an effect on you. There's certain shows, I mean, the news. Hope you're not watching the mainstream news, but there's certain shows, music that has been, for lack of a better word, programmed to make you feel depressed or make you feel anxious. So just really think about this and set boundaries here. I go into boundaries in my course because this is part of your energy protection. And I always talk about like being a recovering people pleaser. It's an ongoing thing, but I think I would say I finally have really strong boundaries where people will actually compliment me on it. Like for me with social media, 20 minutes max. And I look at it once a day typically, or I'll do twice a day, 10 minutes each, maybe. But what I try to do is I get on, post if I need to post, check my messages, get off, or get on, check like 3 people, get off. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm the.highvibe.soul. You know that I often will just ghost Instagram for like 3 to 7 days at a time because one, I'm not like wild about social media. I think it's very intense for my nervous system. But two, it can really muddy your intuition. I see this again and again with my clients. It can just make you feel really anxious and frazzled, and you're just taking in a lot of other people's energy. So you need to clear yourself after that. I also talk about phone cleanses with my clients a lot. I have some people who are just constant texters or constantly asking other people for their opinions. And it's really important that we take some time every day to be in our own energy because sometimes these clients, they don't even know what their own energy feels like. Now, I want to share a little bit about how I set up our day for myself, my home, the kids. Like I said, I have really strong boundaries with my phone. If you're friends with me, you know that if you text me between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m., you're not going to get a response. My phone is on Do Not Disturb. I don't look at my phone. I have a very strong boundary there. Unless there's something with school where it's like I have to email the teacher, or if we're doing like carpool with a neighbor, I'll check it. But other than that, nope, I won't look at it. I really do my best to make that first 1 to 2 hours after I wake up just completely sacred. And this will set the tone for your entire day. Moving with intention into your day and making that first hour really sacred. So, something that has taken me a while to do, but I'm finally doing it, is waking up earlier than the kids. This has been a total game changer. And when I got the message, I don't even know, a few years ago, I was like, I am not waking up earlier than the kids. I'm sleeping to the last possible minute. But I realized I need to set my energy first. And this is actually super, super important. So I actually only have to get up like 15, 20 minutes earlier than my kids. And I don't even really get out of bed while I'm doing this. I lay in bed, I clear my energy for my dream state, I set my protection. I say intentions for the day. I might do a little gratitude in my head. Sometimes I'll say a prayer for my family or someone that needs it. And then I finally get out of bed after that. That whole process takes me, I would say 10 minutes maybe. And then I'll go brush my teeth, throw on my clothes, and go downstairs and really start the day with the kids. But that's what I like to do. It's really, really important that you clear your energy after your dream state and before you go into your dream state. And I say this not to scare you. So this is just don't let it, okay? But we are floating around in all kinds of places in our dreams. We literally will leave our bodies often. Okay, so sometimes those places are not so good. Sometimes they're beautiful. And then sometimes you're just having dreams that are very like working through subconscious things. But it's important that you clear your energy. You don't want to bring anything negative back into your home. Like if you had a bad dream, clear your energy right after that dream. And I share this from experience and not to scare you, but this is really important. Okay. If you need help clearing your energy and you don't feel like doing this course, I have a 9-minute cleanse, connect, protect meditation on my website. I'll link that here as well. Phenomenal. I do that one before I meditate every day. I also have a 9-minute morning energy meditation that will set you up for the day. You don't have to remember any of the steps. So, highly recommend those. You can do them with your kids as well. But yeah, clear your energy. That's my PSA. Call all your energy back to you. Any energy that's floating around, just I call my energy and my power back to me now. And then you want to set up your protection. I'm not going to go into details because you've got multiple ways that you can look into that through my meditations and through my course. But so then I go downstairs and I start my morning with hot lemon water, a protein shake. I really make a point to snuggle with my kids for at least a few minutes because it's really easy to just like be running around, grabbing lunches and snacks and packing their bags and making sure everything's in place. I really try to be intentional and sit and snuggle with them for at least a few minutes before they go to school. When I fill up their water bottles, I bless their water. And that could be really simple. You could just say, bless this water, bless this water, bless this water. Or I like to put an intention into it because intention is everything. And so usually I'll say whatever I think my child needs that day, like bless this water with peace, bless this water with joy, bless this water with creativity, whatever I feel like they need. And if you are like, I don't know about that, Lyndsey, like what's all this blessing water about? Go check out Dr. Emoto's water experiments and you'll be blown away. Also, look at this with your kids because this is really powerful for them to see as well. But the basis of this is that Dr. Emoto would speak intention into water and then freeze it. And then he would look at the crystals under a microscope. He also sometimes would just label the water, like just put a piece of tape and label it with something like love, hate, and all different kinds of words, and then look at the crystals after he froze it. And the water that was labeled with beautiful high vibe phrases and where he spoke beautiful intentions into, the crystals were symmetrical and just gorgeous. And then the water where he spoke negative things into or labeled them with things like hate, the crystals were disfigured and just looked really bad. There's another woman, I can't remember her name right now. She's, gosh, what is her name? Google like water experiments and you'll probably find her, but she's done experiments too where she's said like the word angel and then frozen the water and looked at it and it'll look like an angel after. Like water holds consciousness. So one of the easiest, simplest things you can do that takes no time at all, bless your water, bless your children's water, bless your food too. So one of the most important things that I do with my kids to set them up for their high vibe day is I clear their energy with them and protect their energy with them. It's really important that you include them in this because even though they're little, if you have little kids like mine, they still have free will. So you want to include them in this. You really want them to visualize it as well because visualization is intention and that is really important. I keep this really simple because I want them to remember how to do it on their own. So first we'll say, I call upon the divine white light of God's source to surround and fill whoever it is, filling them up with the highest vibration of divine white, healing light and love, and clearing and cleansing them of all energies that are not of the highest light and love. Done. Super easy. And then I'll say, I call upon the divine white light of God's source to wrap around them now in a white light force field shield of divine protection. That's what I do because it's very hard for them to remember. And then I say, okay, what colors do you want your energy shield to be today? And I'll kind of let them intuitively pick what colors they want. And then we will call on those divine colors and I'll have them visualize it going around them, swirling in their energy. And then that's it. It's that simple. And then lastly, we say, they will not accept or connect with any energy that is not their own unless it is of the highest light and love. Just again, setting intention, so important. We've also been working on setting intention for how we want to feel every day. And this is something that I sometimes forget to do myself and I'm trying to be better at it. So I'm doing it with the kids. So I'll say, how do you want to feel today? Like, what's your intention for your energy? And they'll say happy, or maybe my son will say focused, things like that. Give them examples too. And so we'll set that intention. This I learned in my neuroscience class. This is amazing because one, it works not only on your energy and like focusing your energy in that direction, but it also works in your brain. This is telling your brain what to filter for. Your brain is then going to filter. If you set the intention, you want to have a joyful day, your brain is going to filter to see joyful experiences. So this really creates a high vibe mindset. Lastly, with the little ones, we often will create like a little mantra or a little song and just kind of sing it on the way to school. Like, today is a day to have a good day. We're gonna have a good day. Hey, hey. Just like something that raises the vibe, creates a positive mood. I would love to have you check out my Everyday Energy Care course. I'm so proud of this and I'm so excited to help people with this. I go deeper into our morning routine. I talk about how we reset our afternoon and our afternoon clearing routines after school. I go into boundaries, discernment. I go into different ways that you can clear your energy that you probably haven't thought of. And then I also share some energy healing techniques that you can use for yourself and your kids. I talk about evening routines. I share gosh, so many other tools like crystals and Palo Santo, sage, instruments. And of course, if you need a full energy clearing and reset, as we all do every so often, I'll put the link here for my energy healing as well. You can check out my angelic energy healing sessions. I love, love, love to do these. They're so much fun and so fulfilling for me as well. I always learn so much. So let me know what you think about this episode. I would love to hear back from you, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to the High Vibe Soul podcast. Your support means the world to me. So if you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, subscribe, and share with a loved one. Sign up for my newsletter and receive 2 free high vibe meditations straight to your inbox. And for more ways to work with me, click the links in the show notes. I would love to hear from you, so send me a message on my Instagram at the.highvibe.soul, and I'll see you next time.